Oh, wow. Okay. So I am alive. You must excuse me. I have this little sinus infection and I'm trying to figure out how I can. How do I see things? This is my first time going live on YouTube, so please forgive me. I'm trying to figure out some things. So if you are here, I would love to. Oh, I can start a Q&A or a poll. I don't know. This is why I need my assistant here, right? Like, she helps me through these things. I was pretty sure that like it could broadcast to like Facebook and Instagram, but I may need to do that kind of simultaneously on other platform or my other phones. But if anything, I can do it here and then I can share it to those platforms, right? So I'm a little bit late today, even though because I usually go live at 10 on Instagram and Facebook. But I had talk about double booked. I guess I was triple booked or quadruple booked because technically I had a lot of overlapping meetings today. I had a training that I wanted to take. Then I also had a advisory board meeting for some of the volunteer work that I do with youth, and then I've got live at 10, and then I've got my meeting with my development meeting at 11. So I was stacked. So I had to make a couple of compromises today about in order to get it all done. It all worked. I was able to do a full meeting there. Thankfully, the training was something that I had done before, so it was just a refresher. And yeah, now I'm here with you guys. So whoever's seeing this live or whoever's going to see it later, thank you for tuning in. So who am I? My name is Sara. I am a clinical social worker and with a background in addictions counseling. So that is a lot of most of like kind of what I've been doing and why I'm just kind of like entering into this space. And my expertise really has become more focused on helping providers be able to practice realistic self-care in their life and in order to have an improved relationship with food and stress and ultimately with themselves. So as a therapist, COVID was a very influential time for all of us. But what that looked like for me was I got shifted out of my element very quickly. I got sent home like everyone else. I went from an office to and having a whole like open engagement space with my clients to having to work with people over the internet and lose a big piece of awareness of for my clinical skills, which was observation. Like I only see people from the chest up now versus being able to take into account their full experience as they're experiencing it. And I say that all to say to kind of give you guys an idea of, you know, over the last, I guess it's about to be 3 years now that COVID happened. I feel really more at home on the internet space now in this community with my own skills. And then it came to be that I realized, like, you know what, this happened for a reason and I'm supposed to be reaching more people. Whereas, for me, sitting in an office all day and bringing my expertise to one person at a time was so gratifying, but it also was really tiring. And for me to be able to practice what I preach, because that's ultimately at the core of my story, is I was the burnout, overworked, codependent, binge eating, inattentive with a label of uh, attention deficit disorder. I definitely had some binge eating, still have some binge eating disorder. But I had a lot of borderline personality traits. Was overweight, was close to 400 pounds. Now, mind you, I am 6 feet tall, so it's like the whole right size is ultimately representative of how we're not a number, a size. We're also not supposed to be one size. We're not supposed to be the size of a number. A number is not size, right? We're supposed to be these free, joyous beings, and our bodies are truly a testament of what we've been through. Being someone who's been overweight for the majority of her life, I was never on a trajectory to really feel good about myself if I look at it from the traditional healthcare model, the model that in turn I was taught and educated by. So I've been through this whole transformation, not only from a personal level, but from a professional standpoint too, where I was like, yo, everything that I know about what I do got me messed up in my life. Talk about an identity crisis. I don't know about y'all. Have y'all ever been through an identity crisis? That could be a question I can put in Q&A. It's like, have you ever been through like an identity crisis? And I'm not even 30. Well, at the time I wasn't even 30 yet. I'm 33 now. And these last 3 years since COVID, I've really realized, wow, this was supposed to happen. Not COVID. I'm not speaking to COVID. That's a little bit of a tougher thing to wrap my head around. But my my discomfort, my being sent home, and really, thankfully, I had already been almost 2 years into my transformation work. I hadn't transformed anything yet. But I was a couple years into doing the internal work, doing the reflection, the healing work that needed to be done. And thankfully, it was a matter of timing before when COVID hit. The only reason I was able to work with as many people as I could and put myself maybe into another position of burnout, but I was also like able to do a lot more before I hit that point. What I realized is when I changed these things in certain ways, and ultimately what has come to be the RightSize Perspective program, and what Fresh Perspective will be as a program. When you hit the system at the right points, the points where we're not working harder to deconstruct an injury or a pain point, when you hit them at the right spot at the right time with the right tools, you release so much more and you can move forward a lot more efficiently. So my goal with putting myself out there more is being able to bring my perspective of how to do change and how to do and make change within your own lives, whether that be you want to grow your business, whether that be you want to be healthier, whether that be that you want more sustainable ways of living, whether that be you want to improve your relationships, whether you want to be confident in your existence, not just who you are, but it's like how you exist in the world. You'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not just existing anymore. I exist and I have purpose. So that's a very general explanation of like my background and my purpose and my mission in putting myself out there more in this space. YouTube is going to be kind of a house for a lot of the material that I am working on bringing to y'all. But right now, my story is more on Instagram, RightSize, one word, _perspective. But we're also on Facebook. And then I plan to broaden that to, I'm on TikTok a little bit, but to be honest with you, that's really just to kind of get my bearings over like what, and kind of have fun. I just like TikTok, and learning how to be myself is also a part of this journey. So, but real quick, so, cause I'm eventually going to share this to other platforms. this week, where I went live on Instagram and Facebook, I had been talking about an information session. So, and I'm hosting another one this evening, Friday, January 20th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you happen to see this before then, I will be hosting more information sessions because the program that I'm putting out there and I'm getting people in line with is designed to be an open flow type of program where it is not fully self-guided. There will be a full self-guided version eventually, but it is a group guided, but it's an open group. So people can kind of get in where they fit in and integrate and, move through how they work their programs as needed. So it's kind of like an online virtual recovery group. There's so many different ways I can explain it, but really where you come, you get what you need, and then you go back to, and how you learn to apply that yourself, that work, as if you were to coming to a traditional therapy place, you'd be coming into the office, you would be having a one-on-one session, you would be taking that time to really reflect on what it is that you need to work on, and then you go back to your own world and you apply whatever it is that you have learned about yourself, whether that's setting boundaries or whether that's learning to be okay in silence and to be okay alone. You practice that, whether you do it with intention or not. You practice that every time you leave a therapy office. So I'm trying to create that kind of space here in the virtual community, is that you can get that same impact, but without having to do and go sit on the stereotypical couch of a therapist's office and, us be like, how does that make you feel? Without the wink, because I don't know why that just happened. It was kind of insatiable. It's like, I'm actually, as a therapist, I hate that question a lot of the times because I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel good to be asked how I feel. Like, no, that's icky. It is an important question, but it's also not the only question that therapy, we ask. So so Friday today, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will leave the link here for registration so that you can get involved and come and ask questions about what Fresh Perspective is. So Fresh Perspective being the actual group style program where you start to learn a lot of the principles of therapy and then also have the guidance in the community to be sustainable in how you heal. So that way, if you're connected to systems that aren't supportive, like therapy, oh my gosh, I had one of my clients turn in a testimonial recently, and they really, it was gratifying for me, honestly, because I was like, yo, I'm so proud of this person. They really took what their situation was and they did something with it, but they described it as, what, I really truly believe I go to therapy because the people that I'm around don't. And they are becoming the healthier person so that when they go back to their systems and their networks, that they have more influence over their own lives and they can have more influence over other people's lives to be supportive and be the person that they want to be, and they don't want to be the person they don't want to be, right? They come and they focus on, we work towards focusing on being the person that you want to be and truly getting there versus focusing on something completely different. So that information session is this evening. I'll leave that there. But then also, so I don't know if this matters anymore, but I kind of, there's meaning in a lot of what I do, whether that should be working with people or having a certain problem that I'm faced with. And the other night, I was driving myself a little mad. I was generating some frustration and stress energy, which, we all do it, but because I couldn't find my freaking stamp booklet. Yes, that's right. I couldn't find my stamps. And I am the type of person where it's like, I know I have this thing. If I know it's in the house, I'm not going to go buy. I'm not going to go buy another thing. I'm not going to do that. I could not find my stamp. So I took to Instagram Live and I realized, I was like, you know what, maybe someone can give me some ideas as to where I put these. I had just found them when I was going through my stuff because I just moved a couple months ago. And I was like, I know they're in here. I know I put them somewhere functional, but like, why? This is truly an attention deficit issue here, right? So I took to the gram, and I got some good ideas, and they sent me back to look in the places that I had already checked a couple of them. But one person had suggested I go look in my car. And so for me, I knew I had just cleaned out my car because I was in the process of selling it. But I was like, you know what? By some chance, because I can't remember where I put them, I might as well go back and check, right? I found some stamps. They were not the stamps that I was looking for, but I found some stamps in a pile of things that I told myself I wouldn't find those stamps. I found the stamps. Now, mind you, these stamps are from 1999. I remember these stamps. They also have old Santa Clauses on them. They're holiday stamps. 34 cents, y'all. That is definition of old, right? Because aren't stamps like worth like 60 cents now or something? I don't know. I knew I was looking for certain stamps. Like I knew it was a whole roll of stamps, but it was flattened into a so it, you know how they roll up those little rolls of stamps, but I had expanded it and flattened it, and I was like, I know it's got to be somewhere. But I was like, look, I found these stamps. Technically, I found what I was looking for. Then I was like, okay, it's not the stamps I'm looking for. Then I went to my wallet to put these in, and I was like, my wallet is probably the one place that I would put my stamps, but for some reason they're not in here. When I tell you my wallet, we're looking at this. It's the only designer thing I pretty much own, actually, other than these, technically. One of my best friend bought me this for my 30th birthday. And I was like, so this is really all I'm working with, right? It's like, so if it's not in here, where the hell could it be? So I just took everything out. Did I take everything? No, I didn't actually take anything out. I just went through and kind of picked through it again. And lo and behold, I found the stamps that I was looking for. So why am I telling you this, right? I lost something, including my marbles. Found those a little bit. Sometimes don't find all of them all that much. I lost something. I took to the community that I have at the moment. It could be seen as a small community. I only had 3 or 4 people in that live, but I took to community and I applied the lesson that I have been working on in this chapter of my life, which is asking for help. And I asked for help. I'm like, y'all, give me some ideas, give me some direction, give me something, please, and thank you. And not only did I find what I was looking for, but I found something additional that I had no idea I had and could use for my life. So I'm actually probably not going to use these because I don't know, I'm a pretty sentimental person. Excuse me. I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, I need to do another expulsion of that. Anyway, so they're 34 cents. They're kind of nostalgic, but I'll probably use some. You got to use 2 because they got to like add up 2 or 3 potentially, depending on how fast this postage is going to increase. But yeah, I hope you guys take that message as just kind of as something to reflect on for your Fridays and for your weekend, is that when you have faith, and for me, I'm a true scientist. I was trained very logically. My mother is probably the smartest person I know, intelligence wise, and she can figure just about anything out. And I'm logically trained. I got her brain. And but I've been in a spiritual part of my life these days and really trying to depend on things that aren't based in logic and putting myself in positions to receive blessings. And it's really working. Like, it's working. And I never thought when I started this transformation, excuse me, that's not cute. When I started this transformation five years ago, 2017, November of 2017 was when I made that choice to be like, all right, I got one more shot, because after this, I'm like, I don't know what the frig. I probably wouldn't have given up, but it would have been another, failed attempt. I put myself out there for being, I could have been like, oh, she's ditz, like she's looking for her stamps. What the frig? What is she doing? Is this a sales tactic? I'm like, no, this is my real life. Like I literally didn't know where my stamps were. And you receive things that you never knew you needed. I never knew I needed to find stamps from 1999. And then ultimately, shit, where did I just put those freaking stamps? Oh, back in my wallet. And then I found exactly what I was looking for. So I got an extra bonus for just doing the thing that I just didn't want to do. I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want to tell people I'd lost something in my own house again. But that's my reality. My reality is that I have a lot of things going on in my mind. So keeping track of stamps, you'd think has a system to it. It doesn't. I don't perceive myself as a weak person anymore. So therefore, no one else can really take that from me. You can't give me weakness that I'm not willing to receive. So that's my message for y'all today on this Friday aligning transformation message is when you put yourself out there and you stay connected to a community that, and acknowledging that you don't know, it's like, I don't have the answer. You may receive not only just the answer, but an additional message that you never thought and never knew you needed. So that's what I got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your comments on the live, or you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at RightSize_perspective, or Sara Wilder, Sara, no H. We're a new kind of crew here with Sara. I don't know. It's a whole Sara inside joke thing. That rivalry with like some people, you spell your name this way and that way. It's a me thing. And yeah, follow me for more. I go live every Friday to kind of give you guys some kind of glimpse to what's going on in the Right Size Perspective community, topic-wise, what's going on in the group. Because my goal is to really I'm really trying to organize the content for you guys and have it in a place where you can do it on your own, because this is a very individual type of work that you have to do, but that you're never going to be able to do it by yourself, because you'll always have someone who's got your back and help guide you and give you some direction, just like some stamps did for me, or my network and my social network did for me. So thank you for making it this far. I appreciate it. Look forward to your comments and your engagement. Send me a message if you want any more information, and I will see you later.